Hi everyone. So I wanted to give a quick update on how things are going and what the plan is as far as the next steps go and all of that. Today, so nothing much has been happening for the last couple of weeks. This morning, I had a follow-up appointment with my doctor at the IVF clinic and kind of discussed this past cycle and what the plan is moving forward, and just signed the paperwork and stuff that I needed to have signed. So basically, she was like, yeah, like everything went really well with this cycle. It just didn't work out, and there's really no way of knowing why. There was no obvious issues. And she said it was probably just something with the embryo. I mean, we didn't do any genetic testing, so who knows if it was a viable embryo, really. So, yeah. So basically, like, we don't know why it didn't work. It could also be that my body just, because I had such a good response to the stims and produced so many eggs, it's possible that even though I didn't have OHSS, that my body was still just kind of like not in its normal state, so was not in the best state possible to accept an embryo. So anyway, so we don't really know why it didn't work, but it didn't, and so we're moving forward. We have 5 frozen. They're all right around the same grade of the one that we transferred. The one that we transferred was a 3AB. So we have, we have 5 frozen. I think one of them was a 2AB. Obviously, this one was frozen. Is that right? 2 or a 3AB. And then the rest of them were BB, and they were like 3s and 4s. So she thinks that they will probably choose to transfer the 4BB, but she doesn't really know. I mean, it's up to the embryologist to choose the best one. And so we signed all the consent forms and discussed what the plan is. So the plan is to do a natural cycle frozen embryo transfer. So what that means is that I will not really be on any additional medications, which is yay, that's exciting. I thought it was possible that I was going to be on Lupron shots again and stuff like that. So it's just really nice that I'm not going to have to do any of that. Ordinarily, the other way that they do it is they do it with giving estrogen to kind of prepare your body and whatever. And that's kind of dangerous for me because of my history of blood clot. So doing it naturally. So I will call on day 1 of my next cycle, which should be within the next 2 weeks. And then go in on cycle day 3 for an ultrasound, for like a baseline ultrasound. And then go in again on day 12 for ultrasound and blood work. And then most likely the plan is to do a trigger shot to induce ovulation to kind of just help with the timing of things and everything. And then 7 days after the trigger shot, which will basically be about 5 days past ovulation, I will go in for the transfer. And we will transfer 1 embryo this time. And if this cycle doesn't work out, then we may transfer 2 next time. So we had the conversation about 1 or 2, and she said she wouldn't recommend doing 2 this time because I just might have better success with a frozen cycle, but that if this one doesn't work out, that she'd be okay with the option of doing 2 next time. And my insurance apparently is not one of the ones that restricts. So my insurance is covering, and that was one of the concerns, was that sometimes they don't cover transferring more than 1, but apparently my insurance does not have that restriction. So so that's good. So call with cycle day 1, ultrasound on day 3, ultrasound and blood work on day 12, trigger shot around then. There may be additional monitoring in there depending on the timing of things, but I think the trigger shot would probably be pretty close to that day 12, and then go in 7 days later for the transfer, and then go in 10 days after that for pregnancy test. And I will be on low dose aspirin for this cycle. So on day 1, I will start 81 milligrams a day of aspirin, and 3 days before the transfer, I will start back on the progesterone vaginal suppositories, and continue doing that until whenever they would want me to stop. She said that I probably don't even really need those, but just to, you know, give my body kind of extra support, give a little extra hormonal support, it makes sense to do it. And then if I get a positive pregnancy test, then I will stop the aspirin and I will switch over to the Lovenox injections that I'll be on throughout the pregnancy. So that's the plan. It's a pretty low-key, it'll be a pretty low-key cycle. And if the timing all works out the way that I think it will, the transfer will be somewhere around June 3rd. So yeah. So that is what the plan is. I'm doing okay with it all. It was tough waiting for the appointment today, but Lex's birthday was this past weekend, so we had a big party on Saturday on his actual birthday, and that kept me occupied. So that was good. And now we've had the appointment, and now we have the plan, so now it's just a little bit more waiting for a little bit longer, and then we can move forward and start. And I forgot to ask, I realized in the car on the way home that I should have also asked, if this cycle doesn't work out, do we have to go in for another follow-up, or do we just move on seamlessly to another cycle, or what is the deal with that? So I will ask the nurse when I call on day 1, or at some point I will ask. So yeah, so that is what's going on. That is the plan. So it's just a little bit more waiting, and then we get to start moving forward with this. So I'm looking forward to it, and I'm hopeful for the cycle. I did ask what the success rate is generally, and she said given my age and everything like that, she would say it's about a 50% chance, which was lower than I was hoping or expecting, and Eric was really kind of hit hard with that number. And I told Eric, I'm like, well, it's better than like the 20% chance we were given that IUI would work, so at least there's that. And like the doctor is very confident that with the 5 embryos we should definitely end up with a pregnancy, but I don't want to have to go through, like, we have 5, I don't want to have to go through all of them, and like that is hopefully not gonna be necessary, but we'll see. Anyway, all right, this is longer than I had planned, but I wanted to get something up since I haven't posted in a while and just kind of give an update. So thank you so much for watching. Thanks for all the good thoughts and everything, and I will continue to keep you updated as things move along. Talk to you soon.